Good afternoon, tribe. Before we get into the 5 steps every single military member needs to know straight out of basic to achieve financial success, I briefly want to talk about why I made this video. I made this video because a study in 2023 showed that 35,000 veterans were deemed homeless, as of January of 2023. And a 2020 study showed that 68% of military members live check to check at least bi-monthly, and 54% of them live check to check every single month. This type of financial insecurity, coupled with deployments, relationships, marriages, having children, work itself, war, constant traveling, all of this is a lot of mental stress that can be placed on a member, and it's no surprise why PTSD and other mental illnesses are at the top of our disability list. My hope is that people will listen to this, share it with their friends, family, co-workers, subordinates, what have you, and that they will actually put these suggestions into action so that they can start practicing better financial habits, thus bettering their future financially and mentally. Thank you for watching.
Doing numbers like I'm MJ and Dash Jackson and Jordan. Boy, I'm killing y'all boring. Time to give the world what they really need. That's the HOMIE.
Hello, tribe. My name is Darius Lester, your financial philosopher, and this is Mammoth Money Mindset. And you saw the title. The title of this video is Financial Success After Basic Training. 5 essential steps every military member must take immediately. The reason I say immediately is because the sooner you take these steps, the better off you'll be in the future. As you'll learn, everything with compounding interest, the sooner you would have started, the better off you'll be in the future. All right, to get into it, number 1, TSP, Thrift Savings Plan, right? Anybody new coming into the system will be a part of the blended retirement system. And as you know, that system matches. They'll automatically give you a 1% matching, but it can go up to 5% matching. So at just the second that you join, the second you're able to find a computer after basic training, go in there and update your payments to send at least 5% to that retirement plan. Depending on which one you choose, it'll affect your taxes, so on and so forth. This is not going to be a TSP focused video, but please at least get the matching, because you're just leaving money on the table if you're not putting at least 5% into that system. All right. Number 2, the SCRA, or Service Members Civil Relief Act. Basically, anything that you had before you went and left for basic, before you joined, before you raised your hand, all of those interest rates, whether it be your card, sometimes depending on your house, depends on, what rate it was at, but definitely your credit cards, all those rates that are super high, that are, in the 10s, 20s, some people are cresping up on 30, all those can be lowered since you have now committed your life to military service. Most banks will drop them down to about a minimum of 6%, which is amazing. Any person with a credit card will probably understand how amazing that is, because most credit cards these days are 20 and above percent. So definitely any type of loan, any type of car payments, any credit cards you had, immediately call all of those places. A lot of them let you apply online now, but if you want to really be sure, just call them. Doesn't hurt. You don't need to be afraid. The worst they can say is no. But with this, they really can't. Go ahead and do it and get those interest rates lowered as soon as you can, because that'll save you money. Number 3, allotments. This is a huge thing for me. It's something that I actually implemented when I first joined. I didn't do it because I thought it was going to make me a whole bunch of money. I don't know. I've never been a big spender, so I would just have extra money, and I was like, well, I don't like seeing so much money in my checking account, because then I feel more tempted to spend it. So I'm like, well, if I set up an allotment, which is just an automatic pool or an automatic withdrawal from your money before it gets sent to your bank account, Basically, example, let's say you have $1,000 and you want to set up an allotment for $300. 700 will go to the checking account of your choice. That's your original payment, and then that 300 you can have sent to anywhere you want. I send mine to a high yield savings account, and the reason I say do this sooner than later, not just for the saving benefits of it, but it'll help your mind, right? If you go ahead and get used to your TSP coming out of your check, whether that be $5 up to $500 or $1,000, whatever you decide, the sooner you start that process and the sooner you start living month to month without that money, you won't desire it, you won't require it. You're used to living that way. So technically you could have an extra $1,000 in your paycheck every month, but if you've been living that way for months, you don't even notice it. So then as you start to promote, rank up, whatever you want to call it, you can keep contributing more because you don't really need that much of a pay bump, because you're comfortable enough with whatever your living habits are because you've been contributing for so long. So that's why I'm super critical about starting your TSP contributions to at least get the matching, lowering your interest rates, and starting allotments to start getting used to forcing money into your savings, as opposed to spending whatever money you want throughout the month and then, if I have money left over, I'll save it. That never works. All right, number 4, roommates and home ownership. So you'll be in the military. They'll keep you on base in the barracks and the dorms for a few years, and then they'll start giving you a housing stipend, and you can move off of the base, go live wherever you want. When I moved off, I moved in with, just by the grace of God, I moved in with 2 other roommates. So there's 3 of us in one apartment, it's 3 rooms, obviously, and I'm paying like $400 a month. I'm saving tons of money. It's all going into my savings account. Honestly, maybe within like my first 5 years in the military, I saved maybe a good, 30, 40, something like that, $1,000. That sounds ridiculous, but I did, because I remember distinctly, because I had enough to where I could go and buy a Jaguar outright if I wanted to, and I really wanted to, but this civilian guy named Jerry pretty much called me an idiot and forced me not to do that, because he said that's a waste of your money. Those aren't even good cars. We're not going to talk about that, but get roommates. You were at basic training. There's 20, 30, 40 of y'all living in a room. You're used to it. You're at tech school. 15, 20 of y'all live in a room. You're used to it. You're in the dorms. Whole bunch of y'all. You're used to it. While you're still used to it, before you get super comfortable with living by yourself, go get roommates. Live with other people and accumulate more money, so that whenever you do end up living on your own, you have a gracious nest egg to protect you from any unseen, unfortunate circumstances. And the reason I threw home ownership into that, because if I redid my life, and I went back to when I first joined after basic, after AIT or technical training or A school or whatever, your branch is, I would have bought a house. I mean, the second they let me out of the dorms, barracks, I would have searched up, I'd have jumped on Zillow, got me a real estate agent, be like, hey, I need a house with, 3-4 rooms, whatever it is, boom. And then I would have still gotten my roommates, and I'd have been like, hey, let's stay inside of this house instead of paying that apartment complex for like the 5 years that we were there. We could have all been in my house. They could have all been paying the landlord, which is me. Feel free to disclose that or not disclose that. It's up to you. But either way, they're still getting to live in a place that they wanted to. So why not pay your friend as opposed to paying some random organization? Just makes sense. I would have definitely done that so I could start the home ownership process, be bringing in rent to, help finance it. And then after I PCS'd away, I just would have rented it out, using a property manager just to own more stuff. Do that. I'm a big advocate for home ownership. Some people say they think renting is better. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Mine is heavy into home ownership. We could talk about it. And then the last thing, number 5, will be credit cards, right? If you've watched some of my other videos, you're probably aware that I'm a big advocate for credit cards. Especially being in the military, I feel like we are able to take advantage of so many benefits from credit cards. And the reason I say that this is something that you need to do, right out of basic, is because credit is important. Most people that end up joining the military are pretty young. They don't have any credit history. Go ahead, get that Star card. That card that was the first credit card I ever got, was a Star card. The reason that I got it, some people say, oh, don't get that. They'll tell your leadership and you'll get in trouble. They're going to tell your leadership if you don't pay the card. Pay the card off. That should go without saying. Honestly, good. I'd much rather them tell my leadership and then me learn to start paying stuff that I need to pay for, rather than me getting, some random Chase or American Express card and get a super high balance and nobody's keeping me accountable, and now I got to walk around with a $20,000 debt. Anyways, Star card, I think it's a good starter card because you can only use it on the base. So you can't even be tempted to go out and spend it on hotels, spend it on, a whole bunch of crazy fancy stuff off base, because you're limited to whatever they sell on base. Now, they do sell expensive stuff on base, but I think you'll be less likely to overcharge your Star card than you would a regular credit card. Do that. Get your processes down, get used to paying for it, every month, and then you can start branching out into your American Express or your Chase, Platinum, Gold, Reserve, Preferred, all that good stuff. Get all your benefits. So that is the 5 steps that I think all military people should know and start applying right after they get out of basic. And if I wanted to give a couple bonuses, one is with car purchases. Get help. Get help with your car purchase. I've seen too many people just decide they want a car, go to the dealership by themselves. They have no idea about the price of cars, how cars work, what's a good car, what's a bad car, and they get taken advantage of. The second that dealers hear that you are in the military, all of a sudden all the prices hike up, all the interest rates hike up, because they know that you're getting a monthly paycheck. They know you're contractually obligated to get paid that, and a lot of them sadly will take advantage of that. So take somebody with you that has bought cars before. Take a mechanic with you who, honestly, you can throw a mechanic like $50, be like, hey, you want to come with me to this dealership? I'm gonna show you the cars I like. Can you just, test the oil, listen to the engine, so on and so forth. Let me know if this is a good buy or not. I think $50 is super worth, putting down, a $30,000, getting a $30,000 loan for a vehicle. I think paying $50 to make sure it's a good vehicle is a worthwhile expense. And if I had one more tip, it would be listen to the advice of others. Like I said, Jerry helped me not waste a whole bunch of my money. I ended up wasting it in a different way, but I'll explain that in a different video. But something I've learned and something I've been trying to work on with myself is I have learned a ton. But even with all the things that I've learned, if I can hold myself accountable enough to still listen to other people, even if I feel like they're saying the exact thing that I already know, if you get over that ego of yourself and you still listen to them, you can still learn something new. Even if somebody's telling you something that you've heard 1,000 times before, something you're confirmed that you know everything about, I guarantee you can take at least 5% of the 100% of stuff that they said that's new information. And if you keep doing that with every single person that you talk to, every book that you read, every video that you watch, you'll just become way more enlightened in life. Just my 2 cents on it. Thank you for watching. Again, this is Darius Lester, your financial philosopher, and this is Mammoth Money Mindset. Thank you.